soul searching, guys. Where were you when Sam Darnold got picked up? Be honest. What was your initial thought? And then where are you now, as far as how you feel about the guy?
I was so, and I'll be honest, right? This is honestly what I thought.
This is soul searching. This is Brian Selects soul
Right,
searching
right,
segment.
right.
Welcome everybody to the Seattle Sports Union podcast. My name is Abraham DeWeese. I'm back again with that damn dirty duck Matt Paige and the Southwest Seahawk Rob English and a very special guest, Aubrey English.
It's gonna be crazy today.
I've heard things about Aubrey English.
Really?
Yeah. I heard she's a 49er fan.
Yes, this is true.
Mm.
My lovely daughter number 2 has turned to the dark side. Aubrey, you care to explain why you are 49?
Yeah, please explain yourself, Aubrey. She's on the team. My
Wow.
goodness. Wow, then you better like them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
Well, we
was born
welcome.
into it somehow. I don't, as hard as I tried to make her a Seahawk fan, it just went the other way.
Well, we welcome you nonetheless, Aubrey English, and of course, want to give a shout out to Nathan Savage, our producer for today. We're not going to talk about the 49ers.
Unfortunately.
No, it'll make your dad mad, and we don't want him mad. He's a nice guy. He's a pleasant guy, but you don't want to see him angry. But let's talk about the game that's coming up this Sunday. The Seattle Seahawks versus LA Rams. Are they still in LA, or did they move again? I can't keep track.
I think they're still in LA for now.
Before we dive into the show, can I just ask you guys something? Who are these LA Ram fans anyway? There's been 30 years of them in St. Louis, and these LA Ram fans are claiming Kurt Warner. They're claiming.
Doesn't Kurt have something to say about that? I mean, doesn't he get to say yes or no on that?
I don't know. I don't have any. I've got no problem against Kurt Warner. I'm talking about these Los Angeles Rams fans who claim Kurt Warner.
Well, remember the LA sports scene is interesting because there's the Los Angeles Angels of Greater Orange County or whatever they're called these days. So it's already an interesting sports scene with some interesting loyalties. Let's put it that way.
Rob, you lived in La La Land, or at least adjacent. How do you react to these LA Ram fans claiming the Rams like they didn't just come by, 5 or 6 years ago?
Like kind of Johnny come lately, right?
Johnny come lately. Yeah. Like anybody under 40. Are they really fans?
It's strange, because it was obviously the city and county or whatever, the general area of Los Angeles, went without a team for so long, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't really see so much Rams fans in Southern California until the grumblings of the Rams coming back to LA was that started to happen. It was the Chargers and the Raiders. That was really your so because that LA connection to the Raiders was still there, but I guess it was kind of a resurgence. I think it might be a little bit fair weather. I would like to see how it goes when the Rams wave breaks and finally rolls back, and we see a team that's winning only 5 or 6 games a year and for a couple of years in a row, and see how rah Los Angeles is on the Rams. I'm looking forward to seeing that. Obviously, I'm not there anymore, but I'm not so far away. I still get the pulse.
Yeah,
they're all about it now. They're showing up, but the team's still pretty good. So
I think
it's
we got
a cool thing to do. In LA.
So.
Yeah. I mean, it's a beautiful stadium. Go see a game in the stadium. Sure.
Absolutely.
Yes, but I mean,
there are exceptions you have to carve out for the original Rams fans. Like my dad grew up in LA and he was a Rams fan way back in the.
That's why I said anybody under 40,
times.
45,
yeah,
I get them. They might have had the Rams because Rams left in early 90s, something to that effect. And so if you're that old, okay, get it. But I mean, what does that mean to the three of us who are Seahawks fans through and through, thick and thin? Aubrey is a Raiders fan her entire life. But these Ram fans make me angry. Bunch of casuals. Anyway, let's get to the game. So this is Mike McDonald Seahawks now, but there is a Sean McVay curse, isn't there? For the Seahawks, struggle mightily against him. Any reason why, or is it just I haven't been able to put my finger on it why we can't beat this team on a consistent basis. I'm throwing out, of course, that nonsense game at the end of last year. That didn't matter because we played our way out of the playoffs. But it seems like before that, we just can't beat this guy.
They're just good. McVay is a great football brain. They've had good players that they've had. I mean, their roster has been consistently good over the last, in the McVay era. I think we've snuck a couple games in on them, but yeah, no, it's just they're just a good team. They've got good. The personnel is good and they're well coached. And it's a division game. Division rivals are always going to give you trouble. So we know that by watching games against the Cardinals, even when they aren't good. Now we pretty much trounced them a couple weeks ago, but on a regular basis, the game is closer than we expected or even wanted to be, right? So yeah, it's just a good team. They find their groove. They might start off a little bit rocky, but they find a groove and they figure out how to use their weapons that they have and use them well. Put guys in good places to produce, and yeah, they're just consistent.
Yeah, it's comes down to the coaching overall. I mean, whoever they've had, McVay's made it work. He's put it together. He put together that defense from nothing, from cardboard cutouts of players. Basically, has totally built it up, and it's genuinely. I mean, it's got a few weak points here and there, but it's a high quality defense these days. His offense, they've always had playmakers, and they've always had guys that you need to keep an eye on. And right now, that's on both sides, passing and rushing. And I have to admit, their offensive line is one of the best, if not the best, in the league right now.
Yeah, they keep making sure they got good offensive linemen.
Yeah.
Right now, the score or the betting line is 3 points in favor of the Rams. What do you call that? Plus or -3? I don't bet on these things. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's typically what they consider a home field advantage. So we're on the road.
Yeah.
We're going to LA. The betting line's about 3.5. Does that matter for this Mike McDonald Seahawks team, who is on a 10-game road win streak?
I think it does. I think this is going to be the first real, tell us who we are challenge we've had, certainly in a while, if not all season. I think the Niners game week 1 was a tell us who we are game. And it showed us that, we were almost there. That was basically a full strength Niner team. We took them right down to the last minute. The Tampa game was another one. Took them right down to the last minute, basically. So good teams playing at their best at that time, we're right there with them. And here we are again against the Rams on Sunday. And
the question was about being on the road, though. So is this our first road test, do you think, of this year?
I think, yeah, I'll say that. Yeah, I think test in general, but certainly on the road, even if this game was at home, I'd say it's a test. But yeah, certainly on the road, if we can go in on the road and win, I think that's why there's so much, gravity. This game has such a gravitational pull to it, right? Because if we go on the road against this Rams team and beat them, I think you have to look at it. We're already getting number 1 on many people's power rankings, right? Clearly at the forefront if we can go ahead and win this game. So yeah, definitely a road challenge against a good Ram team. And it's really going to let us know, again, tell us who we are about this road team that we claim to be, right? We claim to be this great road team. Can we go in and beat another marquee team on the road in a high stakes moment?
Matt, is this a home field advantage at SoFi?
I was actually having a conversation about this yesterday. I don't think that it's as big a home field advantage as, say, we have or the Chiefs have or, any of the other scary places to play for away teams. Like we were just talking, the fans are there because it's a cool thing to be. It's a fun time. LA has a lot of transplants, so there's a lot of teams, fans of other teams that go to the games. It's not quite on the level with Phoenix, with the Cardinals, where had 3/4 of the stands are Packers fans or Steelers fans or Cowboys fans or Raiders fans. But it's the LA crowd. It's the crowd that leaves in the in the 6th inning. It's the crowd that they'll hang out, but I mean they're not as hardcore and not as scary, in my opinion. So I don't think it's as strong as a road game as far as the crowd pressure, but this is our hardest road game. This might be the hardest game on our entire calendar. I know we play them again later on in December. We host them, but so I think this might be the toughest game we play all year, and we got to show up for it. It will definitely be a test, and a statement game is a good word for it, a good phrase for it.
So we're trying out this new segment, and it's called Brian Solak's soul searching moment. But Brian Solak's not here, so I'm gonna have to take over the question.
Is it related to the Brian Solak metric that I invented earlier this year?
We can get to that in a minute.
Okay.
Soul searching, guys. Where were you when Sam Darnold got picked up? Be honest. What was your initial thought? And then where are you now? As far as how you feel about the guy.
I was and I'll be honest, right? This is honestly what I thought.
This is soul searching. This is Brian Solak's soul searching segment.
Right. Shout out to
It's
the soul
not. It's
man.
not where I was physically. It's where I was mentally.
Where you were
'Cause
mentally.
I don't remember where I was
So
physically.
if I was in the toilet, you don't want to hear that part, right?
No. No one wants to hear about that. No one wants to hear about that.
No, my station was, I think it's a lateral move from Geno Smith to Sam Darnold. And I didn't really expect a drop off at all. If anything, I thought we would see, a bit of a lift. I will 100% admit to not expecting what we're seeing right now. But I mean, you can't argue with the fact that Sam Darnold came off a masterful season in Minnesota. And the argument was he doesn't have the same weapons in Seattle that he had in Minnesota, so he's not going to produce the same. But no, I thought for sure he would be at least as good. And today I'm blown away. My only thing is I'm just trying not to get too high on it as to not jinx the whole thing.
Matt, how about you?
Yeah, I agree on the jinxing part. No, I was the same way. I looked at it as immediately I was like, okay, let's see the salary first of all, and when I saw the contract, I'm like, okay, I can see this being a lateral move. There's flexibility in the contract. I looked at it from more of a financial point of view, I guess, because maybe we he's a stepping stone to us drafting a franchise quarterback or something. But at the very least, I figured, yeah, it'd be a lateral move. Maybe he'd be a game manager. I obviously did not predict superstar MVP competitor Sam Darnold. I don't think anyone really predicted that. I'm overwhelmingly satisfied with the results we're getting. I know our producer had a very visceral, different reaction, which I'm sure he recants on now, but at the time it was not a positive reaction.
But he's not the only one. There were a ton of fans and pundits who made the claim that Sam Darnold was a step back from Geno Smith. And the last couple games of last season, Sam Darnold did not produce in the clutch.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't really had that. I think maybe Sunday might be when we can see if he produces in the clutch, right?
I don't know if I really buy into that narrative, Abe, and here's why. Because, yeah, they've said that, right? Even Stephen A. Smith just the other day was saying, wait till the playoffs. Wait till Mike McDonald has to coach Sam Darnold in the playoffs. Listen, when you're already made it to the dance. That is top of the top versus top of the top. The fact that he didn't have a great day in the playoffs, it just means that he was playing against another one of the best teams in football, and they beat him. I'm like, just because you didn't win doesn't mean I still don't buy into that narrative that he all of a sudden he crashes and burns when the stakes get high. No, he just lost. He just lost. He just got beat.
You had to be good teams to get there, right?
Yeah, you had to be one of the best 7 teams to get there in the first place, right?
Yeah.
Out of all 16 teams on your side, you had to be the top 7. So you got there. Now, once you're there, okay, there's no gimme games, and you got beat by a team that was just better of those other 6 teams. So I don't buy onto it. Even if we get there and we're one and done. Listen, we had a receiver who was leading the league in pass and receiving all year long. I'm sorry, I know we'll get to that in a second, but he's played great so far. And if he plays great all the way through into get to January and you know what, we get beat. We just got beat. That's it.
Well, let's talk about JSN. Or did you have something to say about it?
I wanted to add one thing. It does need to be pointed out, though, that the team that he lost in the playoffs to is the team we're playing this weekend.
Yes, but the Rams took Philly to the final.
The Rams were arguably the second best team in football last year, in my opinion.
But let's take a look at JSN. Jackson Smith. He was the first receiver in the NFL this year to get to 1,000 yards. Projected he could break some records. Let's put that to the side.
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask more about JSN and what he's produced so far. Seems to me, this is a 2-part question for you guys. One, that maybe we're like a
One-dimensional.
One-dimensional, thank you. That's you know what I was trying to get to. Are we one-dimensional? And have the Seahawks ever been one-dimensional in the past, relying on one guy to do everything? And if they have, who was it?
The Hall of Famer,
Which one?
Mr. Largent. There were times when he didn't really have necessarily what I'd call a supporting staff around him.
I mean, he rode that all the way to the Hall of Fame, right? So yeah. Outside of
But
that, I
yeah,
don't know that we've ever been so one-dimensional. I think we've been a balanced team. I think. Well, we've been a run-first team always, right?
when we've been good, yes, we've been balanced.
Mostly, yeah.
We've been good. We've been balanced, but we've never had. It's always been run focused, right? You know, Sean Alexander, Marshawn Lynch. You know, it's always been run focused, and even go back to Ricky Waters. You know,
Yeah.
so the passing game in Seattle has always been kind of an afterthought. You know, even though we had guys like Joey Galloway and Deion Branch, you know, where we thought that the passing game might become more of a focal point, it never really caught
Never
on.
did. Yeah.
Yeah, it never really caught on. And so, you know, more recently, I think the first 1,000-yard receiver we had after a long stretch was, I don't know if Lockett did it first or Baldwin did it first, but one of those two guys was the first 1,000-yard receiver in a long time in Seattle football. So yeah, it's giving one-dimensional, but honestly, and I don't know if I've heard anybody say this yet, but I kind of get the feeling that we are just kind of holding in our back pocket that running game, because the running game hasn't produced big numbers yardage wise, but it's producing very well situationally, right? And so I think that if this stays the way it is, once we get into December, we get to these cold weather games, we get to these games that really matter, when you got to be able to you know, have those slobber knockers, right? I think that running game is going to take more of a focal point, and I think we're slated to do pretty well. I think we're poised to do pretty well.
Yeah, the running game has been a point of pain, but like you said, situationally, you know, in terms of scoring, our running game is right up there. But in terms of yardage, we're very low on the list.
It's almost like the yardage
But
doesn't matter because we are the
it's
number one play action pass team,
yeah, it's about efficiency more than
and
anything.
we're constantly holding opposing defenses to their 4-3 or 3-4 base defenses, meaning that they have almost no chance to double JSN because they don't have any extra DBs in there.
Yeah, we run enough to set up the pass, so we're good.
We don't just run enough, Matt. We're the number one team in rush attempts in the NFL.
Well, also
We
one thing
run the
that
most.
yeah, well, one thing that needs to be emphasized though is there were several games where a certain blocker wasn't available,
Hoots.
and so when
Oh, he's
he's
got the
here,
jersey.
things will improve. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. My boy's back.
You know who does I'm jumping around on the outline here, but you know who else operates similar to that? The Rams. They are like number one or two up there with the Seahawks in pretty much every one of these categories of run heavy offensive looks, and they've done it to amazingly an amazing effectiveness, you know, level. And now I'm trying to remember the name of the guy out of Notre Dame, Williams, the running back. He's going to get another 1,000-yard season, but when they kind of go into those 2 and 3 tight end situations, they're forcing opposing teams to keep their, you know, base defenses on the field. Is this a new thing, or is this just starting to be talked about?
No, I think it's just maybe talked about. I don't think it's new. I think just talked about. It's
Yeah,
you know,
because you're always looking for mismatches, right?
right.
Yeah,
You're looking for
yeah.
mismatches. You're looking to do one to set up the other. You know what I mean? So not typically speaking, you run to pass, but you know, but there's been teams that can pass to run. I mean, you know, Tom Brady's Patriots were a pass to run team. You know, for a while. You know, they had guys whose names I can't even remember right now in the moment, but they looked very good at the running back position, but they would go to other teams and they were nowhere near as good because but teams are sitting back trying to stop Brady from lacing them all game long, right? So, you know, the running back, you run a draw play and running back's getting, you know, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 yards every time he touches this. Yeah, no, I think it's just the way the game is moving these days.
All right, so we called out Nathan earlier, but I'm going to call out Nathan again on the flip side because he's been telling us about this New Orleans receiver, Shaheed. And he's been talking about him, and we keep telling him, calm down. But he's here. And lo and behold, we got to see some kick returns out of him last week. With injuries to Cup and Horton, do we potentially see a lot more of him Sunday?
I think we will. They got him in some offensive reps. I remember seeing him carry the ball a couple times for us. He's, he's semi-familiar with the playbook, but he's got to get up to speed a little bit. But yeah, I think we will. I think he was brought in for a very specific reason. I think ultimately, the view on him is he's young, he's learning, and he's right on the cusp of making something amazing as far as his career. And they want to get him in there. I do think Cup is going to play, and he's going to bring his A game against his former team and show them why they shouldn't have, cut him. But
He denies that, by the way.
Denies that what?
Cooper Kupp says this is just another game like any other game.
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay, yeah. Well, that's
Canned
Cooper.
responses.
Yeah. No, he's going to be bringing his A game, and so yeah, I do think we're going to see more Shaheed. I know we were really bothering our producer Nathan with it's a great depth acquisition, and and trying to convince us he's going to be the number 2 wideout, and that might come true.
It might. With the injuries,
absolutely. We'll be short on Horton, but Cup will get back in, and we'll need a strong number 3. And I'm rooting for him. I've watched some replays of his games, and the dude's got talent. He's impressive. Like I said, he's still familiarizing himself with the playbook and everything, so it'll take a little time.
What kind of excitement does Shaheed give you, Rob?
Well, the guy
from a journalistic standpoint.
Yeah, I won't get too colorful with it.
Aubrey's right behind you. Keep it PG.
No, listen, the guy's got top tier speed. Number 1, he's pretty sure-handed. I think he helps us. Listen, we've done what we've done with JSN as the clear number 1, and I don't even know that we really could say we have a clear number 2 outside. After that, you know what I mean. So Cooper's been, we know who Cooper Kupp is, but he's not the same Cooper Kupp that he was. And he's been banged up. Horton is ultimately still unproven. He's flashed, but he's ultimately still unproven. So yeah, no, I think it's like we have WR1 and then we have WR2, A, B, and C.
It's really the very clear number 1, and then a bunch of good guys, really good, talented guys.
Exactly. So, at some point or another, I think teams are going to figure out how to try to scheme JSN out of our offense. So to have another guy who can help take the top off, I think this is ideal. I think he's another type of player that plays well into Sam Darnold's play style, because he seems to be able to find guys that are quick and shifty and fast. I don't know why we couldn't make it work with DK Metcalf. Maybe the rhythm just wasn't there. But no, I think this plays well for Sam Darnold. And yeah, I just don't know how you stop us. I don't know how you stop us with that much speed, with 2 guys now who are quick and fast.
Yeah.
Plus the guys underneath them. The tight ends. We're gonna be tough to stop. We're gonna be tough. We have to beat ourselves in this game.
Yeah, I'd like to see more of him, definitely.
The only place that worries me is that Rams pass rush defense on our right side of our offensive line.
Well, okay, let's talk about the offensive line, because Pro Football Focus hates us. I never.
Dear Seahawks, I hate you. Signed PFF.
I never take what they say, with 100%, like anything. I just kind of use them as like a benchmark, so to speak, and then use the eye test to try to figure it out. But my God, they go after Zabel, they go after Sundel, they don't like Oluwatimi, and the one thing I can agree with them is Anthony Bradford, right? And that's what you're looking to.
Yeah.
Is the Seahawk offensive line that bad, or what? I just don't get why PFF like constantly downgrades them. Number 1 offense in scoring, but I mean, like, it's not good enough.
I would say maybe is it because the running game isn't producing, the overall numbers, because Darnold's only been sacked 10 times. That's not a lot, right? I mean, it's not a little, but it's not a lot, right? So, I mean, it kind of is a little. I mean, 10 times total. I mean, we used to get sacked 4, 5, 6 times in a game, a lot of times, you know what I mean? So, yeah, no,
that's once per game. Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? So that's not bad at all. So I don't have to assume it must be due to the apparent ineffectiveness of the running game, because in the passing game, I mean, Darnold is clean at the end of the fourth quarter every week. So yeah, I'm with you, Abe. It's beyond me.
I think they specifically, like you mentioned, Bradford. He's been playing at below league average, and it is an issue. Olu at center is also, when he came in, was kind of iffy a little bit last week, but unfortunately Sundell's out. So we're going to have to make it work. Good news, Christian Haynes will be available in an emergency. But, we drafted him, and that hasn't really panned out either. He hasn't been able to beat Bradford, which is saying something. Yeah, I agree. It's got to be the low PFF score has got to be due to the quote unquote effectiveness of the rushing game.
I would assume inefficiency, maybe.
The inefficiency or whatever. But I worry against Rams have some quality pass rush. They always have. There will be some sacks. It's how we can counter that. That will show who we are, and be ready for it, I guess.
For comparison, Cam Ward has been sacked 38 times. So
ouch. That poor guy.
Just saying.
I felt bad for him when he got drafted by Carolina. I'm like, man, I wanted him to go somewhere he had a chance. And Abe, you're muted. Abe, we've lost Abe. So we're just going to keep talking.
Keep going there then.
Sorry,
go ahead, Matt.
Oh, okay. Throw it back to me. Fine. So Stafford, let's talk Stafford. How can we defend against Stafford? What should we watch out? This man is, by all accounts, going into the season, he was a cripple. His back was terrible. Like, could he stand up at the beginning of the day and make it to the bathroom? I mean, it was serious questions about this dude, and he's playing at an MVP level right now. How can we defend against him?
Is it possible that the Rams just pulled a fast one on the NFL, saying that the guy nearly couldn't move and all that good stuff, and just to have him come in and just light it up? I mean, they're talking about right now he's leading the MVP number, projections, right? Yeah, it's tough to believe now that he was apparently so hurt before. That team is great. Stafford is, I mean, you could say he's playing the best he's ever played in his entire career. So at this point, I think you just you hope to contain him. Can you stop him? Probably not. You just gotta, don't give up anything easy, right? We gotta make sure we stay on top of deep stuff. Tackle, sure and strong. And don't let guys like Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua, just beat you badly. I think it's just that simple. Or that's not simple. That's probably very difficult to do, but.
Well, you mentioned Devontae and Puka. This has to be the most talented wide receiver core we're playing all year, isn't it? I mean, in terms of the 49ers have never been healthy. They didn't have Ayuk at all first week, and he's just now coming back, I think. Looking at our schedule, who do we have? I mean, we've got the Vikings in a few weeks, but they're not on the same level as Devontae and Puka, are they?
No, I don't think so. That wide receiver room is certainly their 1 and 2 are. I mean, forget about it, right? And they got a couple of young guys. I can't remember the name of their WR3, but I think he's showing some promise. So if we can, just keep him tamped down is really it. I think we stand a good chance here. The defense is playing well enough. If our offense can be productive. We stand a halfway decent chance here. But yeah, Stafford is that dude right now. And you just got to make it as tough. Getting pressure on him. I think how do we stop him? Get some pressure. The defensive line have been doing well, getting pressure on quarterbacks with only 4 down linemen. We're not blitzing a whole lot. So if we can continue that, we got a chance here. But we've got to get him off his spot.
Sorry about the technical difficulties, everybody. I must have said something that offended the censors, and they took me off the internet to teach me a lesson, but I'm back.
Absolutely.
Well, I can get that. You offend me all the time.
Yeah, I need to know where that button is.
Yeah. We need an Abe button.
Oh boy. All right. Well, we're back on track, I think. They're back to making fun of me. So, but as we look at the defense, did you guys talk about Javon Curse yet?
Not yet.
Okay, so Javon Curse in that pass rush, that really, really concerns me.
Jared Verse?
Jared Verse. Who is Javon Curse?
Curse was
back in the day,
linebacker for the Titans, right?
Yeah. Oh, I'm getting them mixed up. Yeah. And then there's Jermaine Curse.
Then there's your main curse. Yeah.
Somebody unplug my internet again, please.
Mm-hmm.
See, this is the perfect time for the A button right now.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Oh boy, but no, yeah, it does worry me. But I did see one interesting stat that Sam Darnold is now throwing quicker than anybody else in the NFL. So he's not even getting to a 3 count for his throws on the average, which means maybe that alludes a little bit to why he gets sacked less.
Go ahead. You were
I
gonna
was like,
say-
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, quick release, right? Get the ball, get out, get back, get the ball out. You can't go wrong there. I think, obviously, that you have to be very efficient to play like that, right? That's a efficiency game. If you're not dropping back, you're not getting guys downfield deep. You know what I mean? So you have to kind of pick or choose there. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with them, with the short, quick passes. If they're running a lot of slants and drags and hitches, early like that, fine. As long as we're going to go out there and tackle. And we've done a good job of that this year. If we don't forget how to, what did Pete call it back in the day? Hawk tackling.
Yeah.
If we can tackle the ball carrier, yeah, no problem. No problem. We just don't want to get sucked in so much that when they do go over the top and we get beat deep. I think that's what you got to be careful for in that situation.
Right on. Well, we were talking about quarterbacks before the button got pushed. And Matt Stafford's 37. Do you guys remember just 4 or 5 years ago, everybody thought he was washed up and was going to be a nothing. You were talking about Cam Ward having a rough first year. Matt's favorite guy, Daniel Jones, went from sucking at the Giants to being an effective person. Drake May had a terrible first year, and now he could be an MVP candidate. Is the NFL too quick to pull the plug on quarterbacks?
Absolutely. 100%.
The NFL and the people at large, right? Like just the general population, whatever. Populace is the word. Yeah. Everybody's too quick. It's always knee jerk reaction, right? I mean, no matter what, you have a good day. You have a good day. Oh, he's the greatest. You have a bad day. Oh, see, he's terrible. We're wasting our time. Daniel Jones. I argue with my cousin who's a Giants fan, and I'm like, dude, I don't think Daniel Jones is the problem, man. Oh, Daniel Jones is terrible. Blah 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 blah. And look at him now. He's playing over in Indy, playing great. Ford has shown that he can be a great quarterback, even in Detroit. Before, he had one great receiver there, Calvin Johnson, but a lot of that time he didn't have a great receiving core to throw the ball to, and he still has, numbers that are up there with the best, career numbers. You can't. Everybody's too quick. To your point, Abe, everybody's too quick to say it's over. I would go as far as even say they're talking too much about Russell Wilson being over. I think the guy still plays ball. We need to slow our roll, generally speaking.
Okay, the Russell Wilson thing is a hour-long, whole nother world discussion. You can do a whole show on that, and break that down. And you might be right, you might be wrong. We don't know. But yeah, in general, people don't look at the situation. The quarterback needs the right situation to fall into and to succeed in. To your point about Drake May, and he was terrible in his first year. This year, he has a real coach, and they've actually surrounded him with proper talent and support. And look at what he's doing. Daniel Jones never really got the organization support in the Giants, and look at him now in Indianapolis. Sam Darnold has put in his licks. He's taken his hits. He's really, studied. He went to the 49ers to learn and grow as a player and never gave up, and it's paying off huge. I really do think that there's a systemic problem with the NFL with them giving up on quarterbacks far too quickly.
At the beginning of this conversation, I was talking about the Rams fans. The reason why I bring that up is, as we close out here soon, is that the rivalry with the Rams is kind of a stilted one, because I thought there's definitely a rivalry with the St. Louis Rams. The LA Rams, I still haven't seen the rivalry. I don't think about them that often. I think about the 49ers constantly. Aubrey, as a 49ers fan, do you think about the 49ers a lot? Yeah. See?
Yeah.
The 49ers or the Rams?
I'm getting there.
49ers.
Now, Aubrey, do you think about the Seahawks a lot as your arch enemy?
No.
Not
even with all the talking.
I can
all
see
the talking that I do. You don't think about the Seahawks?
I can see your wife's not teaching her right. That's That's what I've learned. Okay, there's some work to be done on that end. But anyway, I definitely feel like the Niners are our number one. Cardinals, pretty high up there because there's been contentious games. The Rams, this is starting to feel like a real rivalry with the LA Rams.
It's starting to. It's starting
Yeah.
to. And before we I get there, I just got to correct one thing. So she does indeed think about the Seahawks. Let me tell you what this kid used to do a
Okay,
few years ago. When she was still a little younger.
Aubrey, you're being called out, Aubrey.
Was Carrie Underwood on Sunday night, waiting all day for Sunday night, right?
Yeah.
This one decided she was going to change the words and say, Seahawks lost on Sunday night.
What?
She was trolling me. So
Wow.
this one right here, she's trying to play quiet
Wow.
girl over here right now.
Don't all smile over there. You're going to get yours.
Wow.
Another game against you.
But yeah, no, I think it is, I think it's a natural occurrence, right? It's been the Niners because the Niners have been the other good team, during our time in this division. So in a lot of really great high profile games, NFC Championship for one, obviously, there was a lot of good football played between Seattle and San Francisco. And I think now we're starting to see it now with the Rams. I think the Rams, since the Rams are good and the Seahawks are good, the Rams have kind of had the edge against us a little bit, so I think maybe even I keep wanting to say today, Sunday, that will be really a kick in the pants, a kickstart to what will be or may be a very real rivalry for a little while, depending on how these teams go. But we're looking good. Rams came on late last year, looked really strong in the playoffs. Seattle won 10 games. We're looking very strong right now. This could be the new NFC West rivalry. It's looking like it.
We only got a couple minutes left. So last question here, and then we'll do score predictions. The last question is, Seahawks win because, and the Rams win because, or Seahawks win because, or Seahawks lose because?
Seahawks win because Cooper Kupp arrives with a chip on his shoulder, and
The Bryans,
JSN draws the coverage, and Cooper makes him pay for it.
right on.
And passing wise, that just opens up the game.
And that's that Brian Solak effect, right?
That's the yeah. Well, I was going to mention that in my shout out to him, but yeah,
You still
the Brian
you still
Solak
can.
metric. But anyway,
Yeah.
Seahawks lose because of that defensive line on the Rams side, getting through our right side of our offensive line at Darnold and at our rushing attack. So it's just something we have to keep our eye on.
Right on. Same question to you, Rob.
I'm going to say that the Seahawks win this week in particular because we're able to run the ball more efficiently, yardage wise even, and that comes as a bit of a surprise to this Rams defense. I think if we're able to, last week we ran the ball up and down them, right? We had a good day last week, but if we can run the ball and we talked about balanced, right? Not have to go too pass heavy, control the ball, time of possession, a long sustained drive. I said this before. I think we keep Matt Stafford off of the field, and that gives us the path to victory. We lose if we cannot get a pass rush going and get Matt Stafford off his spot. If he has that extra second in the pocket, I am not super confident that, as good as our secondary is, that we're going to be able to stay with those receivers long enough. Higbee's playing great too, and there's options out there for Matt Stafford, and yeah, we're going to have to get him off his spot, force those quick balls. If we let him sit back there and throw the ball, I think he's going to pick us apart. It's going to be a long day.
Don't forget Colby Parkinson too.
And Colby Parkinson, I'm still mad about that. I really, really wanted him to be great for us. I'm mad that we sent him off.
I got the Seahawks winning because we get our secondary wide receiver. It's your thing, Matt. Whether it be Cooper Kupp, whether it be Shaheed, or one of those tight ends, light it up. That's a secret weapon that we haven't really been using this year so far. Haven't needed to. Seahawks lose if Oluwatimi and Bradford are just a giant gaping hole, and all that great pass protection, if that breaks down through a rush up the middle, Darnold doesn't have any speed to elude the rush. So hopefully we can keep it back in there, keep Charbonnet in to pass block, do something different, make the use of what Oluwatimi and Bradford might be good at, get the most out of them. All right, guys, let's do final scores. Nathan's got Seahawks 34-31. I have actually the Rams 27-24. What about you guys?
I'm going to say Seattle squeaks out of this one. I always pick the Seahawks. I'm sorry. I gotta apologize.
Don't apologize.
It's just, I guess I'm that much of a homer. I am going to say 28-24. Seattle manages this game in the end, and we squeak out of there with a win, and we're the best team in football.
Rob, never apologize. I would not doubt it if it were 1992. You'd still have the Seahawks going undefeated, on the season. I tell you, the Stan Gelbaugh, he's going to be good this year.
Instead of 2-14, right?
Yeah.
No, we'll be undefeated.
Absolutely. So I have the Rams winning, unfortunately, and I have them win. I think it's going to be one of those weird, low-scoring, no-offense games. I think it's going to be 10-7.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. As we always do,
But it's always the games you never expect that go
Right,
completely the other direction. So
God, don't be like that Super Bowl with the Rams and the Patriots. That's all I can say.
Ugh.
But anyway, let's get to shout outs. We got to close out this show here. I'm going to go ahead and start this one off for Nathan Savage, who wants to give a shout out to Marshawn Nealon, the Dallas Cowboy. Weird circumstance, just passed away. And yeah, that's horrifically tragic. But I'm going to give a shout out to Brian the Soulman Solak's father. I guess he just got out of the hospital, so that's good news. So rapid recovery wishes to him.
I'm going to give a shout out also, but in the direction of Brian Solak, but for his the Brian Solak metric, which is something he coined, or I coined for him this year when he made the sweeping prediction that Cooper Kupp was going to catch 100 passes this season. I should give you an update. It currently stands at 25. He's caught 26 passes, but we had to remove one because he threw an interception, which is the opposite of catching cat balls. So the Brian Solak metric stands at 25. So he's a quarter of the way there with half a season to go. We'll see how that works out.
That's at only 8 or 9 catches per game for the rest of the year.
Yeah, totally doable.
Okay.
He might surprise us and get 25 catches in this week's game. We'll see.
Aubrey, we're going to ask you for a shout out, but first your dad's going to give one, but then you're going to have to give one.
Ironically enough, so real quick, this one and her mother, they're going to the Cardinals game on Sunday together. A mommy daughter little event there.
Okay,
sweet.
So, but I'm going to give my shout out actually to the Southwest 49er here for joining the show for the first time and sticking through it the whole time. So shout out to you, babe.
All right, Aubrey, who are you going to give a shout out to this week? Oh, and the dad's right there. Oh, that works. That works.
That is a solid shout out. Yes.
Do I see a tear from your dad's eye coming down?
Yeah. No, I'm still mad that this is the other kid. She picked the 49ers. She's the other kid. Whatever. The big one likes the Seahawks.
Aubrey, when you go to the game, root for the team in red. You have a 50% chance of being right. All right. Well, I want to thank everybody out there for watching us tonight. Check us out on YouTube and Spotify, as well. Check out our website, seattlesportsu.com, as well. Check us out on social media. That's Seattle Sports U on X. Like us, follow us, all that good stuff on Facebook. And on behalf of our producer, the Savage Nathan Savage, Matt, that damn dirty duck, Paige, Southwest 49er, Aubrey, and Southwest Seahawk, Rob English. Myself, Abraham DeWeese. We'll see you guys next time.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.